Devin being not mobile.
Yep, yep.
So
what you just saw on time lapse was twisted up this long leg that's going to the back of the car. So obviously I'm not done. I still have a couple more wires to tie into this. If you didn't notice, what I was doing was kind of pre-twisting some of this stuff because it gets knotted up. So I kind of pre-twist it and then come through here and then line it up correctly. And you might be able to see a little bit better from the other angle with that. So this is a really long run. So it takes a good bit of time to do a really long run. From here, which is not even the ECU or the PDM, to the end of those wires is 230 inches. There's probably 20 inches too long. Again, like I said yesterday or the other day or whatever, we would rather throw away 20 inches of wire than be 5 inches short. So I'm gonna get back to twisting this stuff up, finishing this, and then we'll go over lacing cord and why that works and how that works and whatnot. So what's going on here, if you look close, we've got, don't touch it, don't touch it. I said don't touch it. Anyway, it's loose. That's why you can't touch it, because there's no lacing cord on it. This right here, this brown wire and this red wire are 14 gauge. That yellow wire is 16 gauge. So I built a core out of that, and that twists this direction, right? So that twists clockwise, the way I'm looking at it. And then the way you're looking at it. And then the outer layer, the second layer, this is your core. Then your second layer, these are all 20 gauge, and these are twisting the opposite direction. So when this is all done and laced up, you'll be able to tie this in a knot, and none of the wires will be stressed or bulging or anything like that. So this is the long run, and then we've got some more stuff all through here, all this stuff here that has to go into that harness as well. So we need to get to work, because apparently I don't work enough, according to the commentators.
just really quick, you just kind of explained about not putting stress on the wires and stuff. People have asked about, why you twist them. And is that the primary reason? That and it looks great.
No, there's a couple different reasons, but when it's done, I'd rather go over that, because then I can show you the reasons as opposed to just tell you.
Okay.
So we'll go over that when we're done with this.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Well, we'll do another time lapse of Devin kind of working through this harness.
All right.
All right.
Yee yee. So we finished up the first layer, which is around the core. So this is all laced up, ready to go. I wanted to kind of show y'all what you can do with this. So notice, like, if a normal bundle of wires, if you just had like a normal bundle of wires zip tied together, they would, like, some of them would be pushing inward, and then the outer edge of these would be strained dramatically, right? So notice this thing can bend all over the place and not get screwed up. So another benefit of this is this adds a tremendous amount of strength, because it's not like if a wire gets stuck, it's not pulling on one wire, it's pulling on the entire bundle. It's the same way that cables are made. Like if you bought like a shielded cable, the wires are doing this inside, but they're done by a machine. So also, if we look down there, I'll just walk down there. You can see the diameter of this. This is, let me go get a mic and we'll discuss it. All right, so this is right at 265 thousandths. And this is all the wires that are in it. So this is right over 1/4 inch diameter. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 wires 2 of them are 14 gauge, one of them 16 gauge. 6 of them are 20, no, 10 of them are 20 gauge, a couple of 22s. Anyway, so the bundle size gets cut down dramatically by doing this because you're basically making it a perfect circle and filling any void. Now it's time to layer the next layer over, which we will wrap the opposite direction. So basically the same direction that this lacing cord is laid. So we'll be running the next layer over with the same direction that the lacing cord's laid. So lacing cord is made out of Kevlar, super thin. I don't know if I talked about it earlier, but the gold tape that I've been using, this is called Kapton tape. It's super thin, heat resistant, yada yada. So it doesn't do a very good job of sticking to anything but itself, but the goal isn't really to, there you go, kind of see it? Goal isn't to really hold much together except for just holding down the lacing cord. So this bundle here, this loom here, will be running in the car from this point here, up here, along these cables here, and going all the way back to the back of the car, and then going through back there, and traveling underneath the car, going all along here, under the car, popping out. We got taillights, we got trans cooler fan, we got a trailer brake wire, we got a whole bunch of stuff in there. So shock travel sensors, the whole 9 yards. So this is all in here. Now we're about to add in, or I'm about to add in a whole bunch more stuff. So let me get back to it. All right, so we just ran a time lapse. What were we doing?
Fitting the harness to the car. I don't think you got any footage since you finished this on the bench or whatever.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
We got Devo got most of the ECU harness and pretty much the rest of the harness and done and made and put together.
So what we're doing here? We just loosely zip tie this stuff up, right?
Yeah, I mean everything's kind of worked in where we're taking it like you can kind of see what everything's doing now. It kind of looks like more like just not a pile of stuff on a bench. And when you do this, like you come here like when you're measuring stuff out, you like think you have a good idea of where your breakout's going to be and where everything needs to like tie together and break back apart and do whatever. But until you like get it in here and shape it up to everything, like you really just don't know. And then so that's why you'll see stuff like this going on. Because that'll get retwisted and everything will be nice together, and you know what I mean. Like we found out we wanted to bring these further together, so like just little stuff like that you like see when you actually have it in the car and fit it to the where it's going, and then we'll take it back out now that everything's cut to length. Then we can start looming stuff. finish tying any like miscellaneous things that are in there, like the kill switch wiring, power to the fuel pump, stuff like that.
Yeah, so we just ran some stuff through this. We popped a grommet back there. It's gonna be hard to see back there, but either way, we popped a grommet back there to get underneath the car. And it don't matter who takes the measurements and how many measurements you take. I had a couple of measurements off by like 5-6 inches, and then I remember yesterday when I was twisting up that harness, I had said, "Man, it's gonna be long." Well, it was definitely long. So. So you wind up having to rework some of that stuff. But now that it's all fit to the car, we're going to pull it off, and all three of us are going to work on getting this all loomed up and tidied up, and with the rest of the stuff that we have to do. So we'll do some more time lapse on that, watch some of that stuff. So like, we'd already mounted these. I don't know if we covered that, but like little zip tie bases. So like these are riveted in to the tube, and then it just gives you a nice spot to grab a hold of a zip tie to hold it in place. So we're gonna cut this out, and the goal, what's the goal? By tomorrow, I'd like to.
In a turbo car, or get to high gear.
Yeah, well, for sure that's a goal. The goal is to try to get this back in the car by tomorrow with all the bulkheads already populated, everything, blah blah blah. So that's the goal. So we'll see if we get there. I'm gonna set up the time lapse now for when this is on the bench.
So this harness obviously looks very different
Yep.
than it did in recent footage.
Yep.
So why don't you give us an update of where we're at and what's left to do?
So during time lapse, we were adding, like if we had to add some grounds in for some stuff and whatnot, we have started to cover everything with DR25 and seal up this harness. Now we are going to, as all your joints, we tape them up with Kapton tape, and we tape up the joint, and then a piece of SCL heat shrink, which is a dual wall adhesive lined heat shrink, goes over top of it. We heat that up. We could probably look go down here. Here, like this is done, right? So this is heated, shrunk, and you can see there's like a little bit of glue that comes out of here all the way around the edge. So there's glue that comes out, seals off the joint real good. Some of this stuff here, we can't, so like here we stopped and we don't continue to shrink because there's a boot that goes on here and we have to terminate this to a bulkhead connector. So what'll happen is we have to slide the boot on, the back shell, and then we'll wind up pulling this back to give us a little bit of room to work with this in here, because this is a shielded cable, kind of a pain to strip and terminate to. So we'll slide this back, and then when we're all done, we'll slide this forward, and after it's populated into the connector, and then we will we'll shrink this, then we'll put the back shell on, then we'll put the boot over top of it. So we'll show you that when we get to that. That probably won't be until a little later. So anyway, yeah, this is what we got going on. All of our joints are being sealed up. Before anything gets like stripped and crimped, we have to print heat shrink labels and then put a piece of clear heat shrink over top of them so that the label, you know, the writing on the label doesn't get wiped off. So other than that, you know, I mean, if we look down here, there's like, this is kind of like the pain that happens, right? So like, this is a large joint because we got a bunch of grounds that come here, a bunch of splits that come out. So like, Justin's trying to force this stuff.
Weasel something down here.
Yeah. So, you know, so then here's your piece of SCL, cover it up, heat it up, and move on. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, great. I know a couple people had asked about what we do to print the heat shrink labels. So if we can at some point
I hit print on I hit print on the computer that's attached to our $2,500 heat shrink label printer that is an absolute piece of trash that I hate.
Can I show it to him?
I prefer if you don't, because I don't want other people buying it and then messaging me going, man, this thing sucks. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you it sucks.
Okay.
So
I guess that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
So no, they don't need to see it because it's a desktop. If you want to buy a heat shrink label maker that's decent, that's handheld, these work great. Epson LWPX700. These work good for handheld stuff. We have a desk mount one that we use for the majority of printing. So just because the heat shrink tubing comes on big rolls with that one, where this comes in little cartridges. So,
Okay.
all right.
So after they finish getting this harness sealed, then what's the next step?
We have to finish all the terminations on everything before we put it in. So like, it was already in the car, we already mocked it up, cut everything to length, and then now we have to, there's a couple things that are long, right? So like, this was an add-in after we mocked up. So this is just left long, and then we'll terminate this in the car. We'll shrink it, seal it, and whatnot in the car.
Okay.
And we're in Daniel's way.
Okay.
So everybody in the comments, I'm sure, is going to be screaming about how we're just talking and not working.
See your socks really quick, Daniel, so you can piss off even more people.
That's some Lightning McQueen joints right there.
Okay. We love cars.
Yep. So, yeah,
All right.
we're going to get to it.
Great. Thank you, guys.